Hi everybody. Today's vlog is about my weight loss surgery fears. This is a requested video and also one that I would have been interested in watching myself in the beginning. So I'm going to dive straight in. My biggest fear, as I think it is with most people, is death. I know surgery's come a long way in the last decade or so, and they do it laparoscopically now, and they have really good success rates and things, but the first thing in my head was, okay, what if I die? It could happen, it does happen. When it's just you, as in like if you're a single person or you've got no kids or anything, then it's kind of a risk you're willing to take. But I'm married, I've got a husband, I've got 2 kids, I have family, and I was worried, like, is this selfish? Is it selfish of me to go through this? Because it's a choice. It's not something that the hospital is telling me I have to have done. It was my choice to do it or not do it. Yeah, I had to fight for it to be able to do it, but still it came down to me saying yes or no. So is it selfish? I mean, what if I leave my kids without a mum? What if I leave my husband without me? And what would happen to them, how would their lives be affected and all that kind of stuff. So my biggest, most prominent fear was, what if I die? Which is why if you watch the first after surgery video, I'm like, I'm alive! So I was kind of joking, but I kind of wasn't. I did have that kind of like, okay, what if I do die? I did speak to some people on the forum about it, saying this is what I'm scared of, and I think a lot of people do worry. And some people are like, oh, I've written out a will, I've gone through what I would want to happen afterwards and all that kind of stuff to prepare, and I've written letters to people. And then other people were saying, I just refuse to believe that it'll happen, I'm staying positive. And for me as a person, I went with the second, because that's kind of where I'm at in my head most of the time these days. It was just, I refuse to believe that I will die. I see myself waking up on the other side of this and being fine. So that's kind of where I went with it. It's not easy, because I've not always been a positive person. I've always been the one that worries and thinks that the worst is going to happen. But you have to kind of train your brain out of that, or you're not going to have a happy life. So that was my most prominent, biggest fear, was, what if I die? The second one after that, I would say, is complications. A lot of people do get complications, and you have to think, is that going to be worse than living as I am now? It's similar to the death one, really. You will have a life if you don't have surgery, but it's not going to have a great quality of life, and you'll be stuck in this body forever in the situation that you're in before you have surgery. And I knew for me it was the last ditch attempt. It was basically, if I have the surgery, I've got the chance to change my life, and if I don't have the surgery, nothing's going to change, and I'm just going to get worse and worse. My mobility is going to suffer, my fibromyalgia is getting worse and worse, and I already had the life of an 80-year-old at age 30, so, you know, what choice did I have, really? I either as I stick around as I am for a short period of time, or I try and do something about it and change my life. And I went for the second, obviously. One of the biggest things I wondered about, and I spoke to a few people before surgery about it, was the skin issue. A lot of people say that it's not a big issue for them, that they are happy because they lost the weight and they've gained so much more from losing the weight in terms of like quality of life and all that kind of stuff. But my biggest concern was, am I going to go through all of this and then get to the end of it, fair enough, lost a lot of weight and everything, but to be even more repulsed by myself, to have these flaps and these crinkles and this body that didn't fit. And for a long time I decided that yes, that would mess with my head even more. I thought, it's not worth going through all of that. At least while I'm fat, my skin fits. And I was like, I'm going to go through all of that and then have this to deal with. And for a long time I was of that school of thought, and I truly believed that I would hate myself more as a baggy person with crinkly skin. But again, you kind of go, that's not a reason not to do it. You're not, when you're 24 stone or whatever it is, and your mobility is that shot, you have to do it. You have to change your life. You have to do something about it. It's selfish not to, because you've got family around you that need you, and it almost seems like it's vain to worry about, oh, but will I look icky? I'm not going to lie, I still struggle with that one. I am getting crinkly in a lot of places, and it is an issue for me. It does upset me, you know, most days, but I try and focus on the positive. We asked the kids not to come in, but they're knocking on the door. The other one that goes along with the skin and stuff is wondering if I'm still going to be attractive to my husband, because he met me as a full-bodied person and I had big boobs, and you know, that's the person that he met. Can you wait a minute, please? Sorry. And so it's a big issue for me, like, okay, so my husband's wife is going to change dramatically in a short space of time and not have the body that I had when I met him, and is that going to be an issue? And on some levels I think it is a bit of a shock to him that my body's changed so quickly, and I have lost my boobs, which is a downer, which plays on my confidence a lot, because they were always my like default setting is like, yeah, the rest of me might be fucked, but at least I've got my boobs and they're really nice. But now they're not. They're saggy and baggy and empty and crinkly. But it's a trade-off, and I do everything that I can to make it okay. I use moisturisers, I drink lots of water, I try and have a supportive bra, and I try not to be loose and free too much.
Give us a minute, Ray.
Raven, I'm just finishing this video. What do you need? You want to hug the cat? Well, hug the cat, but keep quiet. Just a couple more things. One of my biggest fears as well was losing food as a pleasure. Everybody knows that you have food as a reward, you have food to make yourself feel better, you use food when it's your birthday, you have birthday cake, you go out for dinner, you go out for meals, you have a treat. And as a person who had eating disorder behaviour, food was always that for me. And so I did wonder about, will I feel a loss? Will I feel like I have lost something when I can't go and do these things, when I don't have that food to turn to? And that again was something that I thought a lot in the beginning, but the more that I went through various programs and cognitive behaviour therapy and counselling and things like that, I started to realise that actually it's a destructive thing. It was a destructive behaviour, and it never made me feel any better, because it always has the regret and things like that to it, you know. So I came to the conclusion that as nice as it is to sit down with a gigantic meal, it's so much better and so much healthier for your mind to sit down with the right size of food, with the food that's right for you, that's going to help your body, that keeps you healthy and you don't feel sick afterwards. So yeah, sometimes I do kind of go, oh, because everyone's got nice stuff around me, but it's not been as bad as I thought it would be. Just a niggle every now and then, and I usually have a hot chocolate to try and sort that out. I don't know how much time I've got left. One of the other ones was, what if I fail at it and that's my last option? I mentioned that at the beginning of this, that, you know, when you get to weight loss surgery, it is your last option. You've been through everything. It's been a long journey and this is your last ditch attempt. And I was worried that what if I had the surgery and failed, didn't lose the weight, didn't manage, didn't have the right frame of mind, didn't just cope properly and achieve and lose the weight that I wanted to lose. What if I went through all of that, got to the end of that, and that was it? I'm out of options. It almost seemed like it was safer. Cat. It almost seemed like it was safer to keep that option saved as a kind of, oh, well, I can do that one day if I need to, instead of doing it and worrying that it won't work. And the last thing on my list was a worry of what other people think of you. In the past, I worried an awful lot about what people thought of me and their opinions of me and what they thought of me as a person and how I live my life and all the decisions that I make. But I came to the conclusion, and I've got better at valuing my own opinion, and realising that if people love and support you and want the best for you, then they will be there for you, and they will understand, and they will see that you're trying your best. The people that judge you and don't give you the positive input that you need generally are doing it because they've got their own issues or something of their own that they need to deal with. And I find that if you just not cut them out, but step away a bit from those people, then it'll be fine. If anybody's got opinions of me that that they don't agree with, or then it's usually for a reason of their own that they have. It's not my fault. It's not up to me what other people think about me. So yeah, that's that. Bit of a heavy one today, but I've been waiting to do this one. I think that's everything. Let me know how you found this, if there's anything else that I haven't covered, and I will see you later. Bye.